I'm sure you must have seen all the comments and outrage regarding Babangida's book launch, but here are two quotes that I think should be of interest to you.
However, the tragic irony of history remains that the administration that devised a near-perfect electoral system and conducted those near-perfect elections could not complete the process. As the leader of the military administration, I accept full responsibility for all decisions taken under my...
So firstly, let's focus on the string of words, near-perfect electoral process, near-perfect elections. Nothing about this was anywhere close to perfect. And let me explain why. Let's go back in time to 1985. General Babangida has just overthrown General Muhammadu Buhari in a military coup. With the wealth of human rights violations and a dwindling economy left behind, General Babangida now knows that the one true way to win the people's hearts is through championing democracy. And he does that by establishing the National Electoral Commission, or NEC, to register suitable democratic parties to lead a national election. It soon turned out that the rules and regulations were so stringent that no one could have kept up with it. This ultimately led to a huge downsizing. From the 6 applications, they eventually got 2 runner-ups. But the problem with these 2 was that they were too ethnically biased and were not going to be suitable for the ideal democracy that they were trying to build. And therefore, they decided to scrap these 2 and make 2 brand new parties, the Social Democratic Party and the National Republican Convention. I am mentioning all this because if indeed your process was near perfect or near fair, then why is it that people were not given the choice to vote for parties that were created by the people? That's a question to have in mind. Now, the second thing I would like to address is Babangida taking full responsibility for the June 12 election enrollment and the acknowledgement of MK Abiola as the winner. Mr. Babangida, if you're listening to this, it was already clear to Nigerians 32 years ago that MK Abiola was the rightful winner of that June 12 election. Since IBB is in the mood for confessions, then we have the following crimes for him to answer to as well. He has to answer to the mysterious death of Gloria Okon. He has to answer to the thousands of students that were brutalized during protests in his regime. He has to answer to the $12 billion that mysteriously vanished during the Gulf War windfall. General Babangida also has to acknowledge the assassination of journalist Dele Giwa, because a Human Rights Commission has placed both him and 2 of his security chiefs as having a hand in the affair. Was anything that disappointed me the most was the elites that were around IBB, particularly our dear president, Mr. Tinubu. Mr. Tinubu really went all out to praise IBB and claim that it was his influence that led him into politics. But I mean, look at where that influence has gotten us to. Inflation is at an all-time high, the price of goods and services has skyrocketed, fuel prices have increased drastically, and there's just an endless slew of propaganda and restriction of freedom of speech everywhere you turn. So of course, we can clearly see where the playbook was gotten from. Nigerians, let's not take this as some random discourse. This is the time for us to sit down and question our leaders. We are tired of the rich being untouchable while the poor continue to suffer.